Hi everyone, Peter here from Flow High Performance, and in this video we will cover what role exercise selection plays as a stimulus for muscle growth. First and foremost, we need to understand what exactly the goal of hypertrophy training is. Obviously, the outcome goal is to increase muscle size, but what is the goal for each individual rep, set, and training session? Essentially, hypertrophy is a structural adaptation, not a performance outcome. So the goal is not necessarily to lift as much weight as possible, it is to provide a stress to the target muscle in order to disrupt homeostasis and ultimately grow in size. The muscle can be stressed in many different ways, using various rep ranges, loads, exercises, intensities, and techniques. Therefore, we should understand that there is no best hypertrophy method, rather our training methods usually come down to individual context. So what role does exercise selection play in hypertrophy training? Well, essentially the exercise we choose will determine the general tissues that will be stressed. We may be able to emphasize what tissues are being more or less stressed by adjusting technique, but the movement of the exercise will determine the general range of muscles being trained. So when we think about it, exercise selection is basically arbitrary for hypertrophy training. All that resistance training is doing is providing stress to the muscle. This is why we can achieve equal hypertrophy outcomes using barbells, dumbbells, cables, bodyweight exercises, and machines, because all these modalities can simply provide resistance that the muscles must overcome. The muscle doesn't have a preference for exercise choice, it simply recognizes stress and adapts accordingly. So quite clearly, hypertrophy can be achieved using various different exercises, provided that it stresses the target muscle. However, some trainees also want to get stronger at certain lifts in addition to growing muscle. Therefore, we will briefly cover the role of exercise selection for strength training and how it can be combined with hypertrophy training. Strength is a different adaptation to hypertrophy. Strength refers to how much weight can be lifted in a given exercise. While hypertrophy training is a matter of stressing the local muscle tissue, strength is highly dependent on neural adaptations. These neural adaptations are specific to the exercise, load, and rep range, and we only get better by performing the specific lift. Simply put, we need to practice the exercise we want to get stronger at. So if trainees want to include some strength training in their hypertrophy routine, they need to define what exercises they want to get stronger with and train that exercise specifically. For example, if a trainee wants to improve their bench press strength in addition to growing muscle, they need to include the bench press in their program fairly regularly. This could be implemented by doing 1 or 2 top sets of bench press in the 1 to 5 rep range before doing some back off sets and accessory training for the pecs, shoulders, and triceps to focus on hypertrophy adaptations. The good thing is that strength and hypertrophy are very compatible adaptations. Growing bigger muscles will provide more contractile tissue for strength training, while strength training will provide the neural adaptations required for the specific lift. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you got something out of this video. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already.